All right, hi everyone. I'm Megan, so obviously this is going to be my week 2 post. So, what terms were the most important concepts of this week's lessons? Define any important terms in your own words. So, I thought it would be important just to define disaster, just because obviously the whole class is based on disasters, so it's obviously important to know what the word even means. So I just have it as a sudden event caused by humans or nature that disrupts either an individual or the whole community um, and their way of life. So, I mean, I do think it can affect one person and like it can affect everyone in its own way, but then like as a community, it can affect everyone in the same way, whether it be like housing or like jobs and stuff like that. So, another important concept was definitely vulnerability of the US and um, I think how we grow and adapt when disasters happen and what we can do to improve our emergency management skills and what we can do to be even more prepared. Um, just because obviously we don't know when things are going to happen. So, especially when it's like nature based, I mean, Mother Nature has her way of doing things, and we're obviously not going to know when that's going to happen. I feel like for um, people, it's obviously a little bit different. Like, we're obviously not going to know every time, but I think it's we can usually have like a hunch if something's going to happen just from the government or social media and stuff like that. Like, I think we can have a little bit of preparedness in that way. So then that kind of leads into my other concept was the people kill people. So this always makes me upset just because I literally have it written down just that we should want to do more to protect one another, not just ourselves, but other people too, even if you don't know somebody. Um, so, obviously, reading the article about 9/11, and um, that's obviously that date's coming up really soon. So, I know that in school, like, I always had to learn about that. And I mean, my uncle was actually, um, he worked in the fire department in Philadelphia, so he was there um, obviously after it happened, but there's a picture of him, and the building is basically just debris like behind him, but you can see like how small he was compared to this big disaster that was behind him that wasn't even by nature, like it happened because somebody wanted it to. So um, I think that just makes me upset just because we should be doing what we can to protect each other. Um, so then I guess I'll go into my muddiest point. I guess this would be the Bradford disaster scale, which was in the slides. Um, I think I was only muddy about this one because I said in my other video that I um, had the intro to emergency management class, and I never learned this unless I'm just completely blanking and forgetting, but I've never learned this, and I just wanted to go into more detail of like how it got these numbers like so specific. So I think that's the only reason it's muddy to me. So then number 3, if I had to lead an in-person class, what is one question you would open a class discussion with? Um, so basically, like I said in the beginning, that everyone's gonna have their own opinion on like their definition of a disaster. So I think I would start with that. Like, what is a disaster to you? Like, does it have to affect a certain amount of people, or does it have to happen by a certain thing, or in a way that um, maybe some people would consider like just like a minor thing, or if you would consider it a major thing. And then I said, do you feel prepared enough to know what to do if something were to occur in Millersville? Like, just because I think more disasters occur in certain places, so for places where it doesn't happen a lot, like, even though it doesn't happen that often, we should still be just as prepared as if we lived somewhere that it happens pretty regularly, I guess, compared to here. So I think if we can be just as prepared, like, we're gonna be better off if we just brush it off and assume that it's not gonna happen to us too. So I think we should obviously just be prepared for anything. So yeah, I guess that's it. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.